Hello everyone, it's Adamant MTG, and I'm here to play Magic the Gathering Arena, and today we'll be looking at a standard competitive mono-white deck. One of my favorite archetypes of all time. I started Magic in 1983, and in 93 there was a pretty strong mono-white deck, and I was searching through box after box of cards trying to find my Savannah Lions, which at the time were very hard to get. I don't know why, but I've always been a fan of a mono-white strategy. Let's take a look at this one. Pretty much the creatures we're going with here are creatures that are hard to remove. So Hunted Witness creates a soldier token with lifelink. The kitty cat does the same thing, human soldier tokens. And of course, making things more difficult to kill, you can use the Savior to keep something alive that you want. Because they're all, that's a bunch of 1-drops, the deck can come out aggressively, and then with a formation or some anthems, you can make all those creatures a little bit better. At the end of that, you've got Long Game, you've got Castle Ardenvale. Of course, you raise the alarm into an early Loxodon. Again, gets more of these little dudes tougher and stronger, and you're hoping that they are going to go wide and make it happen. Hollow Blade is one of just another hard to remove threat, and then I'm playing a couple of Conclave Tribunals just to round up the Game 1 removal, finding answers for, planeswalkers or whatever you might see that could be in your way. Creatures or whatever thing is not playing well with your interaction. But I have to have some interaction. Giant Killer, of course, removes creatures that are power 4 or greater. Maybe that happens. Otherwise, you sideboard some of things out and you put some of your silver bullets in. Apostle seems fun. You can eliminate graveyards and also pro-black. Devout Decree seems reasonable in the meta with potentially mono-red, mono-black, and obviously Rakdos. Casket seems like a good call too. Citywide Bust is pretty interesting. I've seen it in a few lists and I wanted to give it a try. I'm not 100% sure whether or not I like it. Gideon goes in against control decks and anybody who doesn't have an easy time interacting with planeswalkers. Archon is, again, tech that I saw online. And, I don't know, protection from white. Maybe blue-white control, maybe another mono-white deck. I have seen a couple of different life gain decks. So, yeah, try it. Try it out. Maybe it works. And I'm a personal fan of Heliod's intervention, so more removal against, you bring it in against Jund and various, maybe even Reclamation. If you see a Stone Coil Steve Austin, you bring it in. I took my Stone Coils out, actually. You could put them in replace of a formation and a couple tribunals, but I liked having the versatility. But having more creatures wouldn't be bad, and Stone Coil seems to be a good choice for a lot of decks. So feel free to build and tweak as you will. As you see, the curve is nice, and with not all of these are more like 28 creatures if you count the Raise the Alarm. So this is a best of 3 version. What I would encourage you to do, if you're interested in playing this deck or any laddering deck, is do yourself a favor, go into your deck area, click clone, and then build yourself a best of 1 version. Now, in the last video I did regarding my mono green deck, I thought the deck was good enough to be a best of 1 and a best of 3. In this case with mono white, I don't agree. I think we need to make modifications if we're going to go into best of 1 with this deck. And I think those modifications need to be leaning towards the assumed metagame that you see in best of 1, which is a lot of mono red and a lot of Rakdos. So we want to gear our deck towards those a little stronger. What I would do here So I would look at the sideboard. You don't have to do this to the sideboard. It doesn't have to be sideboarded cards from the best of 3 version, but it does have to be cards that you're going to bring in for a very specific reason. So we'll call this best of 1, and then we will take a look at how we're going to do this. I think what we want to do is, I think we want to bring in 2 Apostles. Feels reasonable. I don't think we bring in a Heliod's. We can shave 1 Tribunal. We need some interaction. And what else? I don't know if there's anything else that I wouldn't bring in the bust. Maybe either caskets. Where are we at with our creature count? Still at 26 plus the alarms. Maybe this is it. I don't know what else I would do. I could consider maybe a giant killer out. And maybe another formation out. I kind of like the 3 formations, though. I don't know. Maybe this is okay for best of 1. Guess we could always just try it out. Just to eliminate the sideboard to make it nice and clean. And I think that's probably good. Not a huge change, but something that gives us a little answer against graveyards and such. So we'll say done here. If you have suggestions or ideas that you would rather see, by all means. And those are my 2 versions. So we've got the standard mono white and the standard mono white best of 1. So that's how I would build this. Let's take it for a spin, I guess. See where I'm at currently. I'm doing this right after my mono green list did pretty well. So let's, I guess, play some. Problem with best of 1, honestly, with this deck is that this deck doesn't match up well against the other aggro decks. So part of me thinks that I'd rather play this in best of 3 to give the aggro and the sideboard a chance. So that's what I'm going to do. But if you want to take it for best of 1, spin and see how it does, I'm going to take it for a standard best of 3. So let's do that right now. Traditional ranked, and we're going to go mono white. I guess at this point we have to do mono deck for each color. I don't know if I want to do mono blue, unless I do it in historic, but there's nothing really good or strong in standard right now for mono blue. Unfortunately, not every archetype is going to work in every format. Start with a cat and move on to a dog next turn. I should put my my avatar up. No offense, Karn. All right. Temple of Triumph. As a general practice, you should cast your creatures on the second main phase unless you have some sort of a combat trick or haste. That's just good practice. I didn't do it there because they had no interaction, but just keep in mind, small things like that can be important. You're giving a... Oh. Okay. You can give away important information sometimes. I think I Loxodon here, honestly. I'd like to see more creatures get the benefit, but at this point, having 8 power feels like a pretty reasonable board state. Might be a Pawblade deck, which is a Winota-based. I'm going to go for it. Now, they can slam Winota and bad things will happen to me, but I think I've got to get in there now. Take a lot of damage, or they do a few blocks. It depends on what's in their hand, really. If they take it all, that probably means they have a Winota, and they're going to return the swing. So we'll see. We'll cross our fingers that it's not lethal. We're not a devastating board state. Sometimes Winota can whiff. Sometimes. They keep the Watchdog alive. I don't know why they double blocked. It doesn't really make sense. They could block something else. So if they block something else with that savior, okay. I don't. You could take less damage, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that. They're not going to kill me in return, so it's an odd thing to double block and just to lose the creature. But okay. They could have taken 5 less damage had they blocked with that one before they sacrificed it, and then sacrifice it to keep their creature alive. It doesn't trample, unless I'm missing something. So they would have been 5 less. I think that's important, but I don't know. All right. So against their deck, we're going to bring in baskets, and could bring these in. Pretty interesting. Now, Devout Decrease can come in to stop whatever they have in red. Which we know they'll have a few dogs, I would guess. Winota. But it doesn't hit everything, and it's sorcery speed, so maybe I don't love it. I don't think their creatures are that big, except for Winota, of course. So maybe we need the giant killer against Winota to finish it off as an instant before the attack phase. Yeah, maybe. We'll take a few of the smaller creatures out that only work well with, the Anthem. I actually don't think this card is that strong in this matchup. And let's see. Maybe we do bring a bust in case they play Kenny. It also takes care of Winota. Okay, we'll try this configuration. Hmm. I'm going to bring one intervention. I think they might play Ember Cleaves, and also the potential to just gain a little bit of life can be really important in a deck format that you were probably going to be swinging back and forth with creatures. Getting a little extra life and then doing the lethal swing might be a fun way of winning. Don't know if I love this hand, but definitely need more creatures. Big bark for a little dog. Okay. Here they come. Gingerbrute is a good one drop since it has sort of evasion. So I was playing these in my mono white for a while, also mono green. Played it in a lot of decks. I don't know if it just has the power it used to have or why it's not favored as much, but it's just a thing. I don't think they block here. Maybe they do, but for some reason I doubt it. All right. This looks like a battle of the small 1/1s. Guess that's redundant, right? Not blocking it. Also not blocking it. And here they come. Little cookies. Oh, look at that. I'm going to take the damage because I want to Lox it on and get some 2/2s. See if that helps me. There's the Winota. And that's going to be a big swing. That's a big, yeah, that's scary. Dropping all their creatures. Hit that resolve all button and see what happens. Very nice. Wow. That was pretty devastating. Already indestructible, my man. That's double indestructible now, I guess. Oh boy, is it enough? I need to stop Winota. And then I do this. They have mana to cover all of their creatures. They can't do both. They swing out. Take 4. I'm at 4. I guess we're gonna make them do it. They've been making play mistakes, so maybe they'll make another mistake. They have lethal if they swing, so chances are this is the end of the line. But I'm gonna make them do it because you never know. You just never know. They might hold back. They might be afraid of something. Here goes. Nope. They did not hold back. So good for them. Game 3. Let's take out those ginger snaps. All right. Looks like a reasonable hand. Set our stop. Good card. Pass it. If I draw a land, I can Hollow Blade and locks it on the whole crew. Didn't get the land, but we still can locks it on the crew. I think that's fine. Winota with one trigger probably isn't as strong as they want it to be. Interesting attack. They do have the cleave. No land. Super not pleasant, but what can we do here? I can tribunal away the Hollow Blade or the Ember Cleave. I haven't decided which one is more important. I can move the Ember Cleave to the Savior. They have plenty of other targets for Ember Cleave, but by that time, do I get out the Archon? I don't know. Okay, setting up for Winota. That helps quite a bit. Put the pressure on. Happily trade a creature for creature at this point. And I'm going to hold up my Giant Killer in case they slam Winota. We can take it out before the declaration of attacks. They don't have a Winota, they have a Glass Casket. Interesting. I would have taken the token there instead of the creature, because if I have a way of removing this, they don't know I play Heliod's Intervention, but we can always pop two things, get a creature back, and kill the Ember Cleave and the Casket. That would be great. But we need more mana and all the things to make that happen. Anthem is a thing. Definitely puts more pressure on them. But I don't have the out for the Winota. That's kind of frightening me right now. Right now they can't pump, though. One of those calls that I have to hope they don't have it. And that's what we're going to do right now. What are the chances they're going to do 15 on the swing in return? They have to block at least one. So that takes out one creature. or 2. I'm going to take out the Igneous Cur, which pumps, so that seems like a reasonable choice. They're now at 3, and we just have to get in. If they start playing defensive, that's perfect for us. If they slam Winota, then we have to deal with it next turn. Okay, here we go. Giant killer, but not a land. Need to tap stuff down. We have to also win the game. They can move the Embercleave to the Ginger Brute and do 4 damage uncontested. But they might need to leave blockers back. Giant Killer can tap 1 thing and I have 7 damage on the board. So it's not an easy call for them, but they can still put pressure on me. They could also gain life off the Ginger Brute. Not a lot of life, but 6. And that might keep them around. Another land. They're going to hard cast a Kenrith or something wild. Are they coming? Are they coming with the heat? Let's see. Double strike trample. That's 6 damage. Right, if it goes unblocked. Okay. Well, all the decision making was all for nothing. They had nothing. And we ranked up. Okay, cool. I'll take it. Appropriate Boros card as a gift for my opponent. It's almost like we were playing for ante. Not that they were playing this card, but it's just odd that they were playing a red-white deck, and that's what we got as a prize. Cool. Should we do it again? Let's. We'll do 2 games in these series, it seems to be, or 2 matches, rather. Seems to be the perfect amount. Looks pretty fast. Hey, we talked about a mono blue deck. Maybe we're seeing one right now. So I stand corrected. There are people playing mono blue in standard. Maybe we'll need to test it out. I'm curious what sort of cards they play, so it'll be fun to watch. Hopefully the games will be long enough we can take a good look at their deck. Keep in mind that when you're playing Arena, there's nothing wrong with watching what your opponents do and learning from it. learning what cards they choose, evaluating if those are strong cards, cards that you would pick for your deck. Not always about you. Sometimes your opponent can reveal some interesting choices. Maybe they're a student of the game and trying things that we know they're playing ops. Terramanders, I would imagine sailors. They've got at least a Vantress in there. They do have all their counter magic up too right now, so if I try to go raise the alarm, it's possible they just shut it down, but I will try it. Sometimes mono blue runs like a suite of counterspells intended to kind of create that tempo, that slowing down my progress to eventually win the game, but they weren't too concerned. So I feel like they're going to stop the Anthem then, which is a lot worse for me. Or we could try to push a Hollow Blade and sort of fake it. So let's attack first. See if they use some sort of a bounce. They might have a Brazen Borrower, some way to take a token out. They don't. So we're going to fish for a counterspell here. I don't want to put my Anthem on the block right now, but chances are they'll stop this. And we were correct. Ooh, deep. So I've seen a version of this a while back with Hypnotic Sprites, a mono blue with Hypnotic Sprites. So I'm wondering if it's that list or just inspired by that list. I believe it was Strong Sad who played it in one of the tournaments that was going on and got shut down by Green Blue, I think. But in the meantime, felt like a pretty good choice. I was impressed by it. All kinds of flash. So Vandals, Sprites, Terramanders, Ops. So far we've got a deck. We have a deck. Because they were tapped out, I guess I could have just dropped the Anthem, and I didn't. And I got punished for it. So how are we going to respond then? But at least I got it under their counterspells, so I think that's a fine choice. Now we have 2/2s. We get a bunch of little flyers. Another Terramander, so they're just going with their little Air Force. And here we are, 2 mana up. I think it's a pretty obvious just swing. It's going to be a race, and I don't know if I'll win it. We'll see. The last card they drop, and it's a Vandal. Not drawing cards, that feels good, but they do get to pump one of the Terramanders, which I can kill next turn, but in this case I get hammered. They're not attacking, I like that. I like that a whole bunch. I don't know if it's enough though. We can only kill one Terramander. These give me lifelink soldiers, which feels good, but the evasion of their creatures is what we're dealing with right now. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's nothing we can do when their second one attacks. They attack with everything. Feels bad. I don't think we got it. I think we lose this one. But at least we have inspiration to build a mono blue deck for the next deck. Pretty cool. All right, here they come. Swing with all, and it's a loss. Oh, they didn't swing with all. And we're happy about that. They swung with the perfect amount of creatures for us to steal this game. I don't know if we'll do it, but there was no reason for them not to swing out in that case. I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't. And I'll take it. But unfortunately, they have it in the air, and they win next turn. We didn't have anything to win us the game, but yeah, good game. They gave us a thin, small, slim chance, but it wasn't enough. Maybe they won't attack. But they did. Again, they're holding back. For what reason? I'm tapped out. I guess they're just practicing what it feels like to attack. Opt is pretty key right there. Okay, I like their deck. I don't know what else is in it, but we're going to find out because we're going to game 2 and 3. Seems like I've lost game 1 and I've had to push back into game 2 and 3 a lot lately. That's it. That's all I see. I don't think bust is good enough. I don't see any reason to get rid of their graveyard at this point in mono blue. And I don't think... We just have very consistent cards. Okay, I don't know what else to do. So, let's see. We don't have to worry about them removing stuff. Board wipes don't happen. Looks okay. Start with the kitty cat. Double witness next turn, most likely. They might play unsummons or something wild. I don't know. So they didn't creature, and I don't know if they have negates, but we're going to test it. I think we need to get this out right now. No negates, no lofty denials. They do have the bounce. They're probably going to set up for a counterspell next turn. They have to be careful not to just fall into it. It's a lofty denial. We pay for it. So let's go for it. Two, four, six, seven, 8 is almost lethal. Against a blue deck, I don't mind overcommitting, dropping these things out. It's fine for me. 3 mana, they have flash. We add the Sea Dasher to the list of cards. Do we need another flyer? Maybe that's a smart move. It did kind of wreck us. This also stops the quantity of flyers, so maybe we're gonna try that. I don't know that this card has an impact. Again, in mono blue. So let's try this. Do I want to do the formation? Does that help me enough? I don't think it does. Okay. I think that might be a better configuration of sideboarding. Get a couple more creatures in the air. They come out for 4, so it's not the best, but there's going to be a time. Like that last game, the first game that I lost, I just didn't have any way of stopping a flyer. So I suppose I should have shored that up, the sideboard. I think this is a better configuration for this match. I dodged all the counter spells last game. Here comes the sailor. A Vandal is a thing, but looks like they don't do it. And we're going to try to take advantage and push out the raise if they have. The Vandal comes out late. Interesting. They kept their mana up, but then kept the Vandal later. That's interesting. I'm trying to figure out why that they would have played it that way. Double Anthem. Okay. There was the denial. Holding back blockers. They had 2. All right. Well, we had 2 and they had 2. I guess that works out. Okay. Card draw. They're bringing both. they're coming at us, so it means they have blockers or other combat tricks, bounce. There's a lot of things they could have. The race is on. Ooh, this lands, it would be sweet. I have a hard time believing it will, but I'm going to cast it anyways. Triple Lofty Denial. 14 cards. I saw 3 of those. Cool. A blocker. More attacks. And more blocks. Now, while they're tapped out, I'm going to do this because I don't want to take the chance of them untapping and having more answers, you know? So far, they've been coming up with every answer they need. Solid. Terramander on 4 means they can pump it with 1 more mana. And I have a problem. We go at 'em. Flash. Solid 2/2s. Man, they stopped all of my anthems. That's such a bummer. They are winning the race. But I'm holding them back. Threatening that lethal. But now things get much tougher. Great to see something out of the sideboard, but right now it's not happening. I get through with 1. They block the tokens, and then I have 1/1s left that do transform, but it's not enough. Doing 1 damage right now isn't good enough. Here we go. They're putting their big boys on the board, and I have to draw a giant killer real quick. It's a good game 3. I have cards in my sideboard that I brought in to help. My caskets work against Terramander, my giant killers work. Geez, I have a lot of potential answers, but with 2 mana left, do they have a counterspell? Do they have another Lofty Denial? I'll just draw a land instead. That doesn't seem good at all. What a bummer. Feels like we just didn't get there, and we had lots of ways to get there. One of the weaknesses of mono white is you have no card draw engine or way to know. They're being very, very cautious again, not having lethal and not using it. I guess that 1 card in my hand could have been devastating. I don't know. 3 blockers, 2 attackers. If I take a blocker away, do we have lethal? If they counter it, then we're done. Let's find out. See what they got. They did have the rewind, and that's a good game. Okay, playing Rewind, huh? Well, they did it. Their mono blue deck defeated a mono white deck. I think it's an interesting matchup. Okay, so we're done with this video. Thanks for hanging out and watching. If you have any comments or suggestions, of course, I'm all ears, because Magic should be about the conversation of decks and archetypes and sideboard choices and all those things. So tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Constructive criticism is very encouraged, and I hope that you have fun playing Magic any way you want. We'll build that blue deck. I'll do that next. We'll do a deck tech and play some games. All right, take care of yourselves, be good, and be kind. We'll see you next time.